Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on the channel, guys. Believe it or not, FIFA 23 is going to be accessible for everybody in 5 days. It's probably like the least hyped release I've ever seen, but you also have to consider that the web app this year is coming out 6 days earlier. So like FIFA's not really coming out in 5 days, but it also is at the same time. So yeah, we will be doing some content on the channel probably Sunday or Monday with like web app related stuff, so we can get you guys prepared because it's gonna be next Tuesday or Wednesday. I think we're gonna be going away this weekend, so I'm not sure if we're gonna have an upload to Saturday, but we'll see. Today, guys, we're gonna be checking out. I kind of selected like a large group of players that I'm really excited to use these players next year. Not a lot of these players are gonna be really expensive. And my category of expensive is like more than probably 50,000, 40,000. So yeah, these are some cards that I really can't wait to use next year. Since I last did the other video, we've got a lot more ratings. Guys, I'm going to put a link to that video in the description down below. It's like new FIFA 23 ratings. I went through a lot of the players that got released and looked good. All of the players that I'm going to be looking at today, at least like 90% of them, I am not going to be like talking about again, right? So if I looked at a player the other day, a lot of these players are newer. They got ratings released within the last like 3 days. Obviously, the database is compiling itself right now. There's kind of been this like day-to-day release with stuff. So we're going to get right into it, guys. And as always, if you're enjoying it, a thumbs up supports the videos a hell of a lot. So this is probably the card that I'm the most excited to use. It's Allan Saint-Maximin. I just think, for me, he's such a good starter player because his pace is so there. His dribbling is amazing for a gold card. And he's 5-star, 4-star. And I think the nice thing with Saint-Maximin this year is that he's actually getting that shooting boost. And he's going to be a +2 overall from last year. So I think he's going to be a lot more viable this year. I think some of the issues with Saint-Max in the past was that you couldn't really use him out top because his finishing was so poor and you kind of had to throw him out wide. You know, and maybe it's potentially realistic that Saint-Maximin is a wide player in one-on-one situations, but for FIFA purposes, I'm very excited to be able to use this guy in the middle. I think he looks really good. So I'm hoping to get him in my starter team. I think what we'll do today, too, is we'll kind of take a look at some prices, man. I know you guys like to kind of get an idea of what these players are looking like. In FIFA 21, Saint-Max at the start got all the way up to 80K, but really in the first couple days, he was 40 to 50. Saint-Max is going to be one of those players upon release, guys, on the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, that I think will climb in price. Every day that people play this game, people get more coins, whether it's drafts, trading, match coins. So people become richer every day, and they upgrade their team. And I think Saint-Max is a player that people will definitely use and try to get to after a couple of days. Next up, we've got Tecatito. I really think this is cool because I think he's going to be very affordable. He's 5-star, I believe. Either way, if he's 5'4", it's the same concept, right? He's such a solid utility player. He can play in so many positions. You can throw him at fullback, at wing, at center mid because you got a high defending, high physical. So I'm really looking forward to using this card. And now that he's in the La Liga, you know, it's not one of those things where I think previously when he was in the Liga Portugal, you couldn't really link him that well. It was really hard, so you had to use super sub him. So I think there's an argument now potentially for being able to start him, which is, you know, pretty refreshing in my eyes. So it looks good there. Antony's like a really interesting one. I'm excited to try this card out because I've used all of Antony's special cards in the past. Guys, whether it was the team of the group stage or the team of the season, or he just got a footies card that I absolutely loved. The only worry I have is that I think he's going to be very expensive. He's a very hyped up transfer into the Premier League this year. And that's a little concerning. I think he may be very expensive. And a lot of players on Manchester United, they're a very popular club, are very expensive. And you've also got the Brazilian tax. So I'm a little worried he may actually be very expensive. And what I mean by that is potentially over 50K. Because he's also got 5-star skills. So I think he might be more in that 50 to 100K range. I know he's only an 82 rated, but at the start of FIFA, you guys would be surprised with how expensive some of these players can be. Okay, Lucas Paqueta is really interesting to me. He's got 5-star skills. He's in the Premier League, and he's Brazilian. I think that, you know, his stats are not that crazy, but I think that his dribbling alone at that 85, combined with all the other stats, it's a very good starter card because you're going to have 70 minimum pretty much in all the other important stats, and then you're going to have high dribbling. And high dribbling at the start of FIFA is very, very important. It's extremely critical to have this at the beginning. There's not a lot of players in the game that are going to be responsive with the left stick dribbling at the start. A lot of people are going to be trying to use engine chemistry styles, find player. It's a huge deal, especially if this game is anywhere close to the beta that I played. The beta was very clunky, so you're going to need to have players that can dribble this year. Looks like EA have really gone down this route in the last couple of years of making sure that dribbling and passing are very relevant. All right, Zaha is, I think, always like an incredible starter player. I actually think he's a bit underrated, guys. I know that maybe some of you may disagree, but I think he's a bit underrated. I mean, it could be one thing to go off the season so far, but Zaha's an incredible player. I sometimes feel like, you know, Palace are very solid this year, but in the past, he's been a bit limited there. I think he's such a good player. Serious talent, and I think he should probably be a little bit closer to that 83, 84 range, but still a really good card. And you know what? If his overall is lower, it's going to be a cheaper card for the starter squads. 91 pace, 86 dribbling, 79 shooting. And the nice, really like underrated part about Zaha is that he's very good at striker because he's got good base shooting and he's got good base physical, right? 76 physical is huge on a gold card. So yeah, looking forward to trying Zaha. Obviously, a lot of these are skillers, and rightfully so, right? Skilling is very helpful in the box. So yeah, Ousmane Dembélé, always a card that I'm super excited to use. This is going to be my disclaimer of probably one player in this video that's going to be too expensive. If we go back and look at FIFA, I think this is his 22 card. At the beginning, he was 68K. And yeah, he wasn't even like crazy popular in FIFA 22. I think in FIFA 21, he was even more used in the beginning. I think he was probably like 80K. Yeah, he got all the way up to 80K, and he was a left wing. So I think the really underrated part about this FIFA 2 is like I love these secondary positions. So it's also going to be very interesting to see like with a lot of these players we looked at so far, what EA choose to give them for secondary positions, right? Like does EA give Zaha... Does EA give them Dembele? They probably will, left wing and right wing. And do they give Zaha left wing and right wing, or do they give Zaha left wing and striker? Because it should be left wing and striker. So that will be very interesting. I picked out Roussillon because I think Roussillon is going to be a very affordable card. Roussillon's been kind of on that like downhill. He's not been as good in terms of rating. Last year he linked to Lacroix, so a lot of people were using him. He was still only 10K as a rare, so I do expect him to be a little bit cheaper this year. I think a couple thousand coins is quite realistic, but he's a player that I've been using in FIFA for quite a long time now. I always go with Roussillon in a starter squad. I think he's very good for that. So this card is very interesting to me. Just wanted to kind of point him out to you guys because I think he's good. I think Timo Werner is like always incredible at the start. I had the last 2 years used him in each of my teams, and he's not the most skillful, and honestly, he can't really pass the ball, but he's very fast and behind for those through balls, and he's a perfect like first week striker, making a super fast attack. And I think he's going to be probably the best Bundesliga striker next year because, you know, obviously Haaland and Lewandowski leaving the league. They weren't even that good at the start either. But now that Timo's back in the Bundesliga, I think by far he's going to be very expensive. So I think 30 or 40 or 50K for him for sure sounds about right. And, you know, in terms of like a little bit of a trading tip, I think this is definitely a guy that if you can get him on the first day or two, I think he's going to go up for quite a while. I would say at least a week, even if the supply is crazy. So watch out for Timo Werner on the market. Tchouameni is a really interesting one. He's going to be definitely cheaper because he's only got 70 pace. And if you're watching my videos saying, oh my God, this creator only cares about pace, I promise that's not true. I'm just pointing it out because I know how pace really can dictate the market, and it's definitely going to do that in this case. But very, very exciting news to have Tchouameni there. And I think it's so cool to have Camavinga in the same team because you actually get a perfect link. You know, in previous FIFA, it's a bit different now with the chemistry, but I think he actually looks like a really good DM. I mean, people are quick to forget that having 70 pace in a starter squad DM is like not bad at all. So very interesting card here. And outside of, you know, shooting and pace, he's pretty much got, you know, an 80 average in the other 4 stats. So it looks really good. I know I'm a bit surprised that Hazard is still like this high rated. No disrespect to him. He actually came in the Champions League and did really well the other day. And he's getting some minutes now that Benzema's injured. I'm happy, though. I'm happy about it. Hazard was an 85 last year, and he was in my starter squad. I loved him. He was like 10K. Nobody was using him because he's a bit slower. But if you think about it, it depends what EA gives him. He should hopefully have secondary position of striker or cam. And I say that because Hazard is a great cam in a starter team. He's 4-star, 4-star. And if you take a look at this card, it's a really good card at 4-star, 4-star. You're going to have very high dribbling, good enough pace, good shooting, good passing, and decent physical. So I think this is definitely a card to look forward to and a card that's affordable. I think Real Madrid is going to be a very overpowered team to build around early on. They've got a lot of players that I think are not going to be crazy expensive and just super useful. I think Nkunku is probably like the card that everybody's after. And I think when you guys do play someone who's, quote, like a meta player in Rivals or Champs early on, they're definitely going to have like Nkunku, Mbappe, and like Neymar or something, right? But the reason I'm so excited to try this card, number one, he had an incredible season last year. But number two, he's got 5-star skills with 88 dribbling, and that's just crazy, right? So I think he's definitely going to be one of the more popular center mids in the game. I already can see this guy being like a pro level card in the first week. It's just how expensive is he going to be? I'm not sure. Will the Bundesliga with the new chemistry hurt his price a little bit? I don't think so, because I think he's French, and I think people will figure out a way to get him on chem that way. But yeah, you think about it, for a center mid with that shooting and that passing, and even that defending and physical for a box to box, I mean, this card is literally a dream with the 5-star skills. And Nkunku has been one of the most responsive cards I've used in recent history. I used him last year. He was so responsive with the 85 dribbling. Look at how many special cards Nkunku had last year. He had so many, man. So many. Is that 4 player of the month? I mean, that's just crazy. So yeah. Lucas Hernandez, I think he's like really a great looking card next year. He's so good in real life. I wish that he could stay healthy a little bit more. He gets injured a lot, but he's so good. So 82 center back. He's kind of been going up 1 rating every year. He had a great card. This card in FIFA 19 or FIFA 20 was very expensive. He got up to 81K. And so that, you know, that we may be close to that price. The only thing I would say that's different is that he doesn't have the 81 pace that he had in FIFA 20. So I don't know if we're going to be that close, but I think 40 to 50K looks right for me for this card. And, you know, it's going to be a great card. 84 defending on a base gold in the beginning is great. If you have that combination of 80 and 80 with the defending and the physical, it's a really good center back. Diaby does not have the best like weak foot skill move combination, but I think he's going to be extremely elite in the beginning. I think he's going to be such a good wide player. And the main thing from this video is that in terms of how the chemistry works next year, like France Bundesliga is going to be so good to build a team out of. There's so many good players there. I've got a couple other players I've selected that you guys are going to see that are also French Bundesliga that are crazy. But yeah, Diaby, high dribbling, high pace, nothing, you know, not to like there. Goretzka, guys, had his card posted yesterday, and he just looks mad. Goretzka is just always crazy in FIFA. He got a little bit less with the pace, which is totally understandable because I'm going to be honest, like this guy was injured, I think, twice in the last year. But 86 physical with 83 dribbling, and that's shooting and passing. It takes me back to when Goretzka was really overpowered in FIFA 18. He had that Schalke card that everybody was using. So it reminds me a bit of that. I'm excited to try this card out. I'm not sure what his price is going to be. It's a bit interesting to kind of analyze. Last year, he had 3 more pace, and he was 190K, 200K. So he'll probably be the big price because he's got the overall good stats. But I'm definitely not expecting 200K. I think 150K probably makes a little bit more sense to me. 100K maybe. So yeah, this is the player that I'm the most excited to try out. Now, if you know one thing about me, I love Coman in real life. He's like one of my favorite players. Love the way he plays. So skillful. And EA, guys, gave him the 5-star skills again. So he's going to return with 5-star skills, and that is going to put a premium on his price for sure. I'm expecting at least 3-4 times the price of previous years because Coman is very fast. He's got very high dribbling. He's got good passing and decent shooting. So it's going to be an incredible player. I think he's going to have secondary position, probably of left mid and right mid, but very excited to try Kingsley Coman, man. He's going to be a really, really good card next year. And I was using his Footies card at the end of this year, which was the 4-star card, and I even really enjoyed that card. So very excited for this card. Simakan, I think it is, in also in the Bundesliga, and is French. This guy is looking like he's going to be maybe 2,000 coins max, 1,500, because he's only got 71 pace. But I always love these center backs early on that have 71 pace, kind of 70, 75, and the decent defending. We looked at Schlotterbeck the other day. He looks really good too. This is a card for me that looks very exciting. So let's see where this card goes. Lacroix is back, guys, and let me tell you something, man. He looks crazy. Last year he had 88 pace, 80 defending, and he was a rare. He was all the way at 40K last year. Now, he's going to be a lot cheaper this year. He's a non-rare, and he's got very similar stats. He was actually going to make a move to the Premier League on deadline day, but he didn't do it. And I saw on Twitter all the FIFA rats were so excited. And then last but not least, guys, we have a couple cards that my good friend Rage tweeted out. Carlos Soler looks really good. He's an 83. It's going to be a great card for the PSG links, right? Like a lot of people are going to be trying to build teams with PSG. Obviously, chemistry is very different, so that's going to be a huge win to have a center mid. Like Verratti always should be better in FIFA, but he's not. He's like always a little bit too small or too slow. You've got Kimpembe returning again, which is going to be quite the issue. I think Kimpembe the last 2 years has been extremely expensive. Kimpembe got up to 67K. He'll probably be about at least 50K. You know, it's going to be interesting to see with the new chem, though. Like, there may be crazy price differentials that we didn't expect because of the new chemistry system. We may be seeing players on teams with really meta players that people are using. Like, Kimpembe's meta, but you think about really meta, you've got Mbappe, you've got Neymar. We may start to see players on those teams just go to the moon because people are trying to build these 33 chem teams. Hakimi also looks crazy again. As he should. He's very good in real life. So this card looks really good too. I'm very excited for that. And then Marquinhos as well. Marquinhos looks great. Marquinhos looks so good. Marquinhos has great defending. I think Marquinhos, for me, I used so much in FIFA 22. If there's only one downside with Marquinhos, guys, it would potentially be that his physical's a little bit low. But what's really unique about Marquinhos compared to other center backs is his passing and dribbling is so high. You don't get that with a lot of center backs. It's just not really that common. So thanks for watching the video today, guys. I appreciate it, man. Hopefully you guys are doing well and getting excited for FIFA 23. And yeah, we'll have more FIFA 23 content coming on the channel, guys. Obviously, a lot of this content is very, you know, pre-FIFA 23, but content is content. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you guys. See you guys later. Peace.